are your relationships impacting your health, mentally or physically, oftentimes both together, without you even realizing it? If that's the case, then stay tuned, because in this video, I'm diving deeper into how unhealthy relationships affect your health mentally and physically and emotionally, and oftentimes it's all three together. And not oftentimes, it's pretty much always all three together. And all of this information is backed by science, as I always do as a scientist. But also at the end of the video, I will be giving you 6 tips that you can do if you find yourself in such unhealthy relationships. And in this day and age, the majority of the people are in unhealthy relationships. And these unhealthy relationships can be any type of relationships. Work, home, family, it really doesn't matter. Interpersonal relationships, neighbor, right? Roommates, bosses, colleagues, it really doesn't matter. So unhealthy relationships really affect our health, and this is the topic of a video. Also in the description box, I prepared for you a free workbook that includes the expanded version of these 6 tips, but also 6 questions for each of these 6 tips, for a total of 36 questions that you can answer for yourself to identify whether or not you are in such unhealthy relationships and what you can actually do about it. It gives you a clear understanding right in front of you. It's a great assessment for you. I highly encourage you to download that. It's again free. I prepared it for you. It's in the first link of the description box, but also I will link it to this video. And if you don't know me, hi, my name is Dr. Drayguensahin, and on this channel, I help you to be empowered in mental health, physical health, and emotional health, and the combination of all three, all backed by science and by my decades-long of experiences. So without further ado, let's get started, because this topic is so critical for everyone to understand. And this topic really, really affects us all. So let's get started. Unhealthy relationships can exert a profound toll on both mental and physical health, manifesting in a myriad of detrimental ways. From chronic stress to compromised immune function, the ramifications of unhealthy relationships are far-reaching and well documented in scientific literature. At the forefront of these profound effects of unhealthy relationships lies the intricate interplay between stress and health. Chronic exposure to negative interactions, conflict, and emotional abuse triggers a persistent state of stress response within the body. This prolonged activation of stress response system, characterized by the release of stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, can lead to a cascade of adverse health outcomes. Research has consistently linked chronic stress to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, weakened immune function, and worsened inflammatory responses, setting the stage for a host of physical ailments. And as a cancer scientist, being in the field of cancer for 24 years and working with cancer patients for 11 years now, directly with cancer patients, I can tell you for a fact that from my knowledge, from what I'm teaching to all our cancer patients and to the public, is that stress, yes, as I just mentioned, cause all of these chronic illnesses, but also is very, very important in cancer development. Because you see, in cancer patients, the immune system is weakened, and therefore, because it's weakened, by nature, the immune system, the healthy immune system, cannot kill cancer cells as they develop in the body. When immune system is weakened, the developing cancer cells cannot be killed naturally, and therefore, it gives a open gate to cancer to develop even further. And therefore, as I mentioned to all our cancer patients, is that we need to reduce our stress levels, because high cortisol levels is directly linked to weakening the immune system. Yes, all chronic illnesses can come with that, but also, again, because the immune system is weakened, cancer cells can also grow because it cannot be naturally killed by the healthy immune system. And me being a cancer immunotherapy specialist, in this day and age, we are actually engineering the immune system so that we can retrain the immune system to kill specific cancer cells. That's why the immune system is very critical here in all sorts of diseases, in all sorts of illnesses. That's why it is absolutely critical for us to, at all cost, reduce our stress levels. Our cortisol levels needs to be low, and we need to make sure that our immune system is high up. And I also just realized when we talk about boosting the immune system, right? I keep teaching this in our cancer organization when we talk about this marketing strategies of boosting immune system. That's not how it works. You can boost how many blueberries as you want to boost your immune system. But if you are, this is the topic of this video, if you are still in unhealthy relationships, have a constant stress from the outside, you can eat how many superfood? It doesn't exist. There's no such thing as superfood. We teach this in our cancer channel, in our cancer organization. You can also subscribe to our cancer channel because we are talking a lot about cancer prevention and healthy lifestyle, food and diet. Highly encourage you to subscribe there too. But the point here is that and the outside factor is still existing that smashes your self-esteem, smashes your mental health, smashes your physical health, then it doesn't really matter if you are constantly eating organic fruits and vegetables or you doing keto diet and whatever diet. Again, that's why the topic of this channel here is the combination of all three together. Mental health, physical health, and emotional health needs to be in combination. We need to bring them all up at high levels and not just pick one and just try to be healthy. Again, there's so many marketing strategies with that, and if you want me to, I can dive deeper into another video, or definitely we talk a lot about our cancer channel about this, so I invite you to watch all our videos there. All the misinformation about food, it's all on our channel, so I talk a lot about that as well there. So here the topic is unhealthy relationships and how it can affect your health on all three levels. Okay, so again, at all costs, we need to reduce our stress levels. Yes, you can do that, and I am the example for it, how you can do that. I teach a lot in my courses and classes and programs about really tactics, strategies, really 5 minutes, 10 minutes in your day you can do to reduce your stress levels. How do I know it? Not only by knowledge, right? But I also do it myself. It really works, and that's why I'm teaching this to you as well, because it works. So let's dive back deeper into our topic. The psychological toll of unhealthy relationships cannot be overstated. Individuals trapped in unhealthy dynamics often experience heightened levels of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. The constant barrage of criticism, manipulation, or neglect erodes one's sense of self-worth and self-efficacy, contributing to a cycle of negative thoughts and emotions. Studies have shown that sustained emotional distress can impair cognitive function, disrupt sleep patterns, and worsen pre-existing mental health conditions, further worsening the risk of developing psychiatric disorders. Furthermore, the impact of unhealthy relationships extends beyond the individual, permeating into various aspects of their life. Social isolation, a common consequence of unhealthy relationships, deprives individuals of vital sources of support and connection. The absence of nurturing relationships worsens feelings of loneliness and alienation, compounding the adverse effects of mental well-being. The link between unhealthy relationships and illness is not merely anecdotal. It is substantiated by a robust body of scientific evidence. Studies have elucidated the intricate pathways through which interpersonal stressors compromise physiological functioning and worsen susceptibility to illness. Additionally, years of research has underscored the enduring nature of these effects, highlighting the importance of early intervention and proactive measures to mitigate the detrimental impact of unhealthy relationships. In summary, let's summarize everything. Unhealthy relationships constitute a significant threat to both mental and physical well-being. By recognizing the dangerous nature of unhealthy dynamics and prioritizing healthy boundaries and self-care practices, individuals can safeguard themselves against the damages of unhealthy relationships. It is imperative to cultivate relationships that nurture growth, foster mutual respect, and promote emotional well-being, thereby laying the foundation for a healthier and more fulfilling life. Yes, and exactly for this reason, I focus on my channel. If you follow me for some time, you know that I focus on the combination of mental health, physical health, and emotional health. All three are absolutely critical because the more we can have all together in alignment at highest level possible, we can actually live a life of fulfillment and happiness. It is true. It's not utopia. It is actually a fact that you can achieve. And I help you to with simple techniques to get there. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking that you need to all of this. I break it down for you, simple steps. And please join my program if you want to work with me with actual steps. Really, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, you can really do this, and I will teach you how to do that, because you can bring your health on all levels high up there. And if you haven't already, I have a free scientific self-esteem assessment quiz. When you click on it, take your self-esteem quiz, then I will send you the results. I will send you results, and depending on if low or mid level, or of course if you're high level self-esteem, congratulations, but based on the results, I will send you also personalized tips to increase your self-esteem. Okay, so if you haven't already, take your free scientific self-esteem assessment quiz. Highly encourage you to do that. So now let's dive deeper into the 6 tips I mentioned very briefly, and in the workbook you will get a little bit more expansion on that, but the questions are the key to really assess where you're at in your relationships. Okay, so now the first tip is setting boundaries. My goodness, I cannot emphasize this enough. And I talk in pretty much all of my videos about this, because setting boundaries is the key in all relationships. It really doesn't matter what kind of relationships, because we are interacting daily with people, correct? And setting boundaries is key. And I have a video, really, it's one of my greatest videos, because I break it down for you to easy to understand, and with actual examples, what you can say, how you can say it when this person says that. Very down to earth. You can get a lot from that video. It's a great video. I will link either up here or down in the description. It's how to set boundaries. Again, we need to set boundaries with your children, children's also. Very important to understand, not only with our partner, but with our colleagues, with our bosses, with our neighbors, with our landlord, with our roommates, with our parents, our siblings and cousins, and I don't know, the person in the grocery store, who knows? I mean, we are social creatures and we constantly meet people, and we need to be able to set the boundaries. It does not mean to be on guard all the time. It doesn't mean that. It means that when you have high self-esteem, again, take the quiz, when you have high self-esteem, no person with high self-esteem would let other people cross their boundaries. It's really a natural thing. I don't let people treat me like this. It's so natural. Trust me. Once you are working on yourself, and I can help you with that, join my program. I'm happy to help you. It's so easy to, it doesn't have to be all this fancy wording. Very simple. It really starts from you, and you can take easy steps. And the first step, just take the quiz, right? It's free and scientific. So once you increase your self-esteem, then if it's low, because if you have high self-esteem, setting boundaries will not be overwhelming for you whatsoever. It will come so natural. Of course you don't let other people scream at you. Of course you don't let people take advantage of you. Of course you don't let people give you a lower position than you deserve. Of course, right? And that's directly correlating with high self-esteem. So all we need to do is really just pump up our self-esteem so that this setting boundaries come natural. And while you're working on that, it doesn't mean you have to wait until your self-esteem gets higher and higher. You can set, I can help you with that, set boundaries and watch the video how to do that. Very simple, doesn't have to be complicated. When you set those boundaries, then people will respect you, and it's kind of like, it's like a circle, right? People respect you more, and your self-esteem also increases, and your boundaries, and it goes really like a nice flow. So setting boundaries is really key, and many people misunderstand, and I see this in different cultures as well. Setting boundaries can really vary from cultures to cultures. In Western cultures, setting boundaries is so much more easier than in Eastern cultures, because in Eastern cultures, the giving, the overgiving is so prominent that setting boundaries means something very negative and very insulting. And it doesn't have to be. For example, in Western European countries, it is so like, duh, obviously, right? And it is very interesting. It sometimes can be also a culture shock how like boom, boom, straight cut everything is. But it's good. It's good. You can train yourself in that. It, as I keep saying it, it doesn't have to, if you come from that culture where setting boundaries is so something absurd and so, oh my God, how can I even do that? It's very rude. It's actually, again, in that video, I break it down very, very simple, because when you set boundaries, it doesn't mean you hate this person, you don't like this person. It's just you like you. You like you. And it's so natural, as I just said, to take care of you. It's just, you don't even say anything aggressively. You're like, okay, that's my working hours, 9 to 5. And if you want to send me an email at 10 p.m., you literally just respond the next day. Or say, I haven't checked my emails. Send me an email tomorrow morning. Or I will respond to you tomorrow morning. Right? It's just so easy. Again, watch that video, very, very simple, and it's very practical and a good eye-opener. So, research shows that setting boundaries can reduce stress and improve relationship satisfaction. And this study was done in 2008 by Giffen and Bartholomew. The second tip is seeking support. Reach out to friends, family, or support groups for emotional support and guidance. Social support has been linked to better mental health outcomes and resilience in the face of stress. And this is a study from 2001 by Cavacci and Berkman. So listen, my community here on my channel is very, very high quality. I always, as people know me, know that I always go for quality. The people here are very high quality, very, very kind, respectful, beautiful people. So it is also very critical to know where you go, right, to seek help. And I see this a lot, and I caution people a lot. Because at that vulnerable stage, people, it's known for centuries, right? People take advantage of people in vulnerable state, right? And so you can easily be misguided again if you don't know yourself. If you have increased self-esteem, and again, knowledge is power, which we get there in a second, you can, even in the vulnerable state, you can assess what community is good, what community is helpful, and what community is not. It's actually bring you down deeper, deeper, deeper into that well of problems and cannot get out. Because if you find yourself in a group where everyone is abused and everyone is talking negatively about other people, that's obviously not a group or community that you want to be in if you want to be healed. You need to be in an uplifting community instead, and people who respectfully can really give you tips and share their experiences and be on an uplifting and more positive way of thinking. And we will have a lot more videos, so stay tuned and subscribe, because I talk a lot about the mindset, right, in for years, for decades, but on my channel for years, and all my videos about changing the mindset. So we'll have a lot of videos coming up for that, so stay tuned. But important thing is to having a mindset that is actually helping you to heal, but finding the right people who love you, who care about you, who really want the best for you. That's where you need to be in order to really heal from these unhealthy relationships that you are in. Okay, so the third one is practice self-care. And I am the go-to person for that. As I mentioned, I have tips, really day-to-day tips for 5-10 minutes you can do every single day that really helps you to become so much more healthier mentally and physically. If you want, subscribe, but also join my program and I will help you one-on-one based on what you need. So very, very important, self-care. Engage in activities that promote relaxation and self-care, such as exercise, mindfulness, and hobbies. Self-care practices have been shown to reduce stress levels and improve overall well-being, and this is from a study by Sood in 2016. So again, follow my videos because I talk a lot about this, and also in my program I talk a lot about really practical tips you can do for busy people. We all are busy people, but we need to calm down. I have certain things that I do every single day to really calm my mind down and to get my body in action. So important, both together. When I do that, I reduce my migraine. If my migraine kicks in, I help myself to get without any medication, no nothing, just by doing some habits that I developed myself. Every single day I can release my mind, and in the meantime I'm active. Then I highly encourage you to go outside, like no matter what, right? Fresh air, fresh air, fresh air. I talk a lot about this during the viral expansion, but I don't know, out of the sudden people just forget about going to fresh air, how important it is for mental health and physical health. So in any case, go outside. Again, I have lots of tips and tricks for you, and let me know if you want me to dive deeper into that, okay? So once you clear your mind and your body get also active, what happens is also your creativity, your ideas will start to pop into your mind. It's so fascinating how everything works together. That's why I keep mentioning it all together, must be dealt with all together in a very, very practical way. This is how it works, because we cannot separate our mind with our emotions, with our physical health. It's all connected. And once your mind gets released from all of the issues, and then your body constantly gets activated, and then your serotonin level pumps up and you feel happier, your dopamine and serotonin levels is all jazzed up, and you are feeling so much more happier, so much more healthier. And then you, if you want to continue work, and then if you want to be doing your hobbies, what have you, just you will enjoy it, because your body, your mind, your heart, your soul is all now set up for the next step, for the next stage, for the next thing. It's set. It's like a reset, like a computer. It's a reset, and then you can go to next. Imagine in your computer, your trash can is full of files, and you keep on and on and on putting it, and you think it's released, right? It's out of your computer, but the data is still there. It occupies your computer. And because your computer is occupied, the data is full, then your computer starts to function slower and slower and slower, right? It's the same thing, but once you really empty the trash can of your computer, that's when the files are released, and then you have free space in your computer, and your computer starts to function quicker, right? As it used to. That's exactly how our body works. Okay? Never forget this example. So the fourth one is seek professional help. And I have to caution you with this, because as I keep talking about for the last several years about this, I see it firsthand for people that I also know in person, and also what's going on currently everywhere on social media is that there are so many unqualified people marketing themselves as mental health expert or coaches or what have you. I see this a lot for years, and I talk a lot about this for years. So it's highly, highly important you know to which expert you are going to, and if that person is actually qualified. And also, if they have a channel or anything on social media, follow the person, look at it, and I will love to teach you. I can teach you this more personally, the tips and tricks, the body language, how you can assess people, how you can trust them, because it's a thing that I do naturally, and it's so, for me, it's fun. It's even laughable how accurate it is. So it's important to know how qualified these people are, but in this day and age, I see so many people have a completely different background, and then they're like, oh, you know what, I want to be a psychotherapist or mental health coach, what have you, and then they go to some classes, some courses, and then boom, they have a certificate, and now they are marketing themselves as mental health expert. That's not how it works. And I highly encourage you to caution about that. And so there are many, many ways you can find out whether or not a mental health expert is actually a good professional, very trustable. And if you want me to, I can make a separate video on that. Comment in the comment box below and let me know, and I'm happy to do a how to pick a good, high quality mental health professional. I can definitely do that. I also always want to do how to pick a right, trusted lawyer. I also want to do that. If you want me to do that, happy to do that. Just write in the comment box below. If there are more interest in either of these topics based on the interest, I will be happy to do that. So definitely write in comments below, okay? Again, consider seeking therapy or counseling from qualified mental health professional. Therapy can provide tools and strategies to cope with the challenges of unhealthy relationships and improve mental health outcomes. And this study is by Kujipers and colleagues in 2016. So again, qualified mental health experts, very, very important. Fifth one is my favorite, as I keep saying, it's all about what I'm teaching here. It's educate yourself. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And I cannot emphasize this enough, because the more you know, then the more you can understand and see that you are in fact in unhealthy relationships. I would like to emphasize that it is absolutely not necessary to know all the terminology that is floating around on social media lately or the last several years. You don't have to know about this is a narcissist, this is whatever attachment style, this is whatever trauma, and this is childhood trauma, and this is that, and this is this. You really, trust me, don't need to know any of these terminologies to determine whether or not you are in unhealthy relationships, full stop. Literally full stop. Because the more you know yourself, the more you are in the high self-esteem stage, and the more you are educated about what unhealthy relationships is looking like. And again, you don't have to go elsewhere. Just do the assessment, answer the questions that are in the workbook. Then you know for yourself. You don't even know anybody knowledge about anything, just for yourself. Even it's very simple to assess. If somebody yells at you, that's not healthy. Period. You don't need to know about somebody's mental health stage, if this person is a narcissist or if this person is a bipolar or whatever attachment style. It doesn't matter. And plus, you are not in the position to, and anyone on social media is not in the position to diagnose anyone with anything. Plus, it's not your job also. Your job is to find out, does that behavior smash your self-esteem? Does that behavior cross your boundaries? Does that interaction makes you feel small, makes you feel unheard, makes you feel you don't exist? And straight up, really abusive, right? Emotionally abusive. And again, you don't have to know about the wording of gaslighting. In fact, I only knew about what gaslighting means just a few years ago. But we all experienced that. There was not even a wording for that. No terminology, no wording. And these new terminologies, and people love to put words on something. Again, it doesn't have to be. Again, you don't have to know all these terminologies, all these fancy wording. If someone uses your words and twist it and put it back on you and put you in a position that everything is your fault, then that's what you need. You don't need all the fancy words. I didn't know it, what gaslighting means. I was like, what the hell does it even mean? And then I was like, oh yeah, we all experienced that. But I didn't have to know about what gaslighting mean in order to know that what that behavior is total crap. And I'm not going to allow that. And so what I'm saying here is the more you know yourself, the more you can pick the information on a rational from the mind, and you can assess it and say, this is not good for me, I'm out, stop it, I'm not going to allow that, right? And so, but if you dive even deep in all the terminology, figure out, is this person a narcissist? Is this person a bipolar? Is this person gaslighting me? If you are in that stage, you even further make yourself excuses even, and I see this a lot, to actually justifying subconsciously the behavior of the person. Instead of saying, wait a minute, this person just used my words, twisted it around, put it back to me, and put me in a position if I am doing everything wrong. That's all you need. If a person is constantly jealous of you, of your friend circle, of your career, your position. If a person, I don't know, doesn't like you to be with your family, with your friends, or doesn't want you to be happy, right? Wants you to be constantly in a miserable state. That's all you need. That's a relationship that's unhealthy. Or if you feel that you have constantly inflammation, constantly under stress, constantly your performance at work gets lower and lower and lower, and your burnout gets higher and higher and higher, then it's all you need. You observe it from a rational standpoint. Why? Because you have high self-esteem. You take care of you first. Oxygen mask first. Okay? Learn about healthy relationship dynamics and red flags of unhealthy behavior. Knowledge empowers individuals to recognize and address unhealthy patterns in their relationships. And this study was from Whitaker and colleagues in 2013. Now, the sixth tip is very, very important if indeed you are a very abusive relationship. And the sixth tip is safety planning. If you are in an abusive relationship, prioritize your safety and develop a safety plan. Reach out to domestic violence hotlines or shelters for assistance and resources. And this study is from 2003 by Campbell and colleagues. So this is very critical. If you find yourself you are actually in abusive relationship and you get physically harmed, emotionally abused, mentally abused, then you need to have a safety plan, an exit plan, a safe exit plan. And these types of relationships, if you already brought it up there and kept it on and on and on and on and on because you couldn't somehow find the hints and help you with that to not even get there, right? But if you find yourself be there, if you don't know about any of these nonprofits or these shelters, reach out to me and I will find for you the resources. And because there are so many nonprofits that actually are focusing on domestic violence and safety plans, and I can definitely help you with that. If you, hopefully not, but if you are, reach out to me and I can find you these resources, because I know for a fact that There are so many nonprofits working on that. I even saw a woman who was at 8:30 something in the morning and an entrance of a nonprofit. So this was kind of like a women's nonprofit. A woman, she was in front of it, and then she took a phone and said, whoever person is following me, as actually right there was touring around and with an open window in the car and following me as I came here. She kept on talking about that. So it's very, very interesting. And that nonprofit provided lawyer or something, or she wanted to talk with a lawyer or so about that issue, whatever that was. But so many nonprofit organizations that actually helping people with that, okay? Of course, as I keep saying in all of my videos, abuse is not just for women, right? So there are so many men, and I know it for a fact, for decades, so many good-hearted men can also be very, very much so abused by really, really unhealthy women. Or gold digger women, or women who think that they need to get everything on the silver platter, on the silver plate, and really abusing good-hearted men financially, emotionally, mentally, on all levels, even draining them until physical health gets in jeopardy as well. I've seen this a lot. That's why I keep talking about this, because for some reason in the society, on social media and media, somehow it's been described as always women get abused, always women are getting in these unhealthy relationships. It's definitely not the case. That's why I always say that I'm an advocate to also bringing out the abuse that male also suffers from. And so it is very important to understand we all are human, and all human beings can experience this and experience that. So definitely there's no difference between only women get abused by unhealthy relationships. No. Very good-hearted men, I see this a lot, get also abused by unhealthy relationships. So these are all my information I want to share with you today. I hope you find it helpful. But before we go, of course, as I said, download your workbook. It's free, that I prepared for you, and assess yourself where you at in your relationship. But before I go, I want to quickly, just very briefly, want to touch upon what's in the news regarding Kate Middleton and William. And also this inspired me to do this video because it is very important to understand that every single person experiencing in either relationship, again, I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it doesn't really matter what kind of relationship we are talking about here. But what unfortunately we see in the media, that some relationships can be glorified, although they are in unhealthy relationships, and some relationships can be smashed to the ground, like Harry and Meghan. Whatever they do, good or bad, it's always bad. But whatever William and Kate are doing, it's always great. And I want to caution you to really looking at those type of relationships and glorifying those types of relationships, because in the reality is we all are human beings. And do I believe that Kate is unwell? 100%. She is, in my opinion, physically and mentally unwell. The reason why I'm saying that is because not only that, because I'm following them for years, even before they got engaged, when they were together as a couple. And obviously, me being from Germany, I've been following these boys and their entire family since my childhood. It is very clear to me, and me being a fan of observing people since my childhood, and naturally and analyzing the body language, which is kind of became one of my hobbies because it's a natural gift that I have, because I can see through people, not only body language, but seeing actually through people. It really helps me, help my entire life assessing things and really trusting what I'm seeing. From my following, not only what I'm seeing last year, all the news that in Kate and William's relationship, it's actually a known fact. Harry was saying that too, and many other people, that William has this huge outbursts, aggressive outbursts. And when they were in fight with Kate and William, they would throw each other items. And that's very, very, very unhealthy. Like, this is not, I cannot even imagine to be in a relationship where people throw things at each other. I really cannot get my mind around that. So if you find yourself in a relationship that you're in this aggressive moment and then you throw things at each other, whoa. I really don't care what kind of people and whatever status these people are at. We should stop glorifying and saying as is. That's an unhealthy relationship, full stop. The topic of this video was how unhealthy relationships affects your mental health and physical health and emotional health too, right? Imagine that you are in such a relationship for more than a decade. Imagine what it does to your body. That's why I'm saying that I wholeheartedly believe that Kate is unwell. The problem here is, if this would have been done by Harry and Meghan, this would have been like a scandal, and everyone, the wannabe psychologists, psychotherapists, or all the people on social media with all the fancy wording of mental health would throw some terminology of toxic relationships or narcissists or all of these wording, whatever attachments, like whatever it is. But in this case with Kate and William, brush it under the carpet as it doesn't mean anything. It's a big deal. If you find yourself in relationships where, again, from everything I mentioned in the entire video, but in this case of like throwing things at each other, no. It's like an Eminem song, right? Throw the fist in the wall and blah, blah. That's all horribly unhealthy relationships. So you need to get out. I really honestly don't care if you have children or these or that, property or money together combined, or you're in fear of loss. No. Because in such a relationship, how can you expect that your children are happy or your children is happy? They will not be happy because they see this type of fight. They see that you guys are, imagine the trauma you guys are causing to your children. No. How much you think that you are doing this secretly away from your children, trust me, they would see it. I am very, very, very lucky to have parents who never, ever, even one time have been in fight at all. And I'm now seeing more and more how lucky I am to have parents like that. And that's why I'm unable to get around my head and be in a relationship where people throw things at each other. And that's being normalized, put it on the rock, like as it's like a normal thing, or no. It's very, very unhealthy, and that's the part of the education, right? Don't trust things on social media, and also don't compare anything to yourself and to your life. Those are very unhealthy, but for you, I mean, if you think, okay, whatever they do in their relationship, number one, it's not your business. And number two, the way it affects them, it doesn't mean it affects you equally or less. It can affect you much, much more. And so who says that some behaviors are standard in relationships? There are beautiful relationships too. As I just said, my parents, I never, ever seen them ever in my entire life fighting, ever. Arguments are just very minimal, and they know how to handle it. Respect needs to be there. Respect on both sides. But this can also only be done if both self-esteem are high of both sides. And so very, very important. William, as I said, I've watched them their entire childhood, and their families are, of course, very, very unhealthy. So William and Harry have had very, very unhealthy parents and relationships in their household, right? Do you see now how this affects now generations? And so when William, as behind closed doors, bursts it out, now Harry has the chance to burst it out openly and gets bullied and poo-pooed by other people. I'm not talking about Meghan, because Meghan, as I mentioned, totally different, because she does it in a me kind of way, but Harry really needs a hug. Like, I want to hug Harry as well as Britney Spears, because they are just bursting out all the accumulated abuse or this emotional damages outside, and I cannot blame them. But William doesn't have a chance to do that. Why? Because of the outside, how people would observe, because he has duties and responsibilities, and how, God forbid, people look at them, right? So he cannot do that, and must put a nice face outside. Imagine when they are fighting, throwing things at each other, and in the next minute they have to go outside and put a mask on and smile as nothing's happening. Imagine of the emotional toll on things like that, when your emotions go from 0 to 100, from 100 to 0, like in a matter of minutes. What does it do to your mental health? You are faking constantly and suppressing your emotions constantly. You put up a good face to the outside world for the detriment of your own health, because you have to show good face. Maybe you are in a relationship in your life where you have to, or maybe you have a good status in the society, and God forbid that you cannot get divorced, because what happens when you get divorced, right? But you know that you have to get out. So that's a different program that I'm providing. That's the Fearless Achiever 2.0 program. I help people with that in that time of transition in their careers, in life, in health, in relationships, to get to the next stage fearlessly, into the next stage, whatever blocks it just to release all the blocks and get to the next stage to have a fulfillment life. That's my Fearless Achiever 2.0 program. All the information's on the description box, but the point here is that when you are in a constantly faking mask to the outside world, and you're suppressing things just for the sake of having a good face to the outside world, imagine what it does to your body. That's the topic of this video. Your mental health and your physical health and your emotional health will suffer a great deal, and your children, if you have children, will suffer. Or if you don't have children, your next relationship will suffer if you don't take care of it now. I hope this video was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments. Share with me your situation if you feel comfortable with that. I would love to know your stories. I mean, if I can help in any way, shape, or form, let me know. Everything that you need to know, all the informations are in the description box. Join our community. This is a safe spot, very high quality people. Very, very proud to say that I have so many high quality followers. I so appreciate you all. Thank you to all my supporters, all of the people who are on my channel. Thank you so much for all your support. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. And let me know in the comments if you want me to dive deep into any of the topics that you find helpful and want me to expand on that. Because in the next video, I want to dive deeper into some sections that I described here in the video. So stay tuned, subscribe. Don't forget to watch Setting Boundaries video next, because that will help you to set the stage for everything in your life, in all relationship. And don't forget to take the self-esteem quiz, the scientific self-esteem quiz, and also download your workbook, all free. Take care. Bye-bye.